feedback in your controller. I have like less rumble packs in this stuff controller, so it doesn't really affect me. It's not like it's jumbling, or vibrating out of my hand or something like that. It really doesn't matter. Want to unlock all the new mastery camos like Singularity ASAP? Check out Mitch Cactus, the most reliable name in Call of Duty. They offer instant DLC delivery codes like Monster Energy and Mueller Milk. Plus, copies delivered in under an hour. Everything's 100% safe and legit for Xbox, PlayStation, and PC. Trusted by the community and seen all over YouTube, Mitch Cactus has over 20. Thousand verified reviews and thousands going down here to your Dead Zone reviews and thousands of personal vouchers, making them the go-to for all things Call of Duty and even other games like Battlefield 6. Use code CHUCK to save 5% off, limited time only. But going down here to your Dead Zone inputs, this is very, very crucial. So you can test your Dead Zone and see if you have any stick drift. Of course, if you have stick drift, it is going to show up over here on the the grafting. I got the little display, so that will show up. My left stick minimum is going to be at a 0, and I plan a 0-0 just because it feels right to me. I like having the least amount of input delay, or aka no input delay. When I'm playing this game. Some people feel a little bit better by having, let's say, a 1 or a 3 or a 5 or something else like that. I would say to get it as low as possible, as Call of Duty is an arcade reactionary-based FPS, so it does make sense to have this as low as it can go, as long as it feels comfortable to you. So, on the left stick minimum, keep that down as low as you can get it. Then your left stick
60. These settings might screw me, but we'll find out. That's also at 0. $99. So default 13.
Max can be at like a 60, just because we're only using this to move around in game. We don't necessarily have to have the full circumference of the stick in order to be able to excel when we're moving in game. Like, we don't need that full circumference to be able to trigger max movement. We'd rather just be able to hit max movement at only 60% of the way, pressing.
Is that your settings or is that my settings?
100%. To me, that just makes sense. Now, my right stick minimum, this is also at a 0, just because this is how I like it. This, for me, makes sense. My right stick max is going to be at 99. This should be at 99 or 100. Let's see if they use your right stick minimum as your left stick minimum. It should be as low as it possibly can go, but you do not want to lower this past 99. This, for me, just feels comfortable to have it at 99. I don't think there's really that much of a difference between 99 and 100, but for me, I just like it right there, so that's how I have it. But overall, left stick minimum, right stick minimum should be as low as they can go, so that way you're able to react as fast as you possibly can in game. Some of you guys are going to be looking at my left trigger and right trigger down here. I only have this dead zone on here just because I have mouse click bumpers or mouse click triggers. So for me, they just can almost auto click in. So I have a little bit of a dead zone on. So first thing we're going to do is we're going to hit that show more on your sensitivity multiplier. So right down here, the only thing you have to change is your ADS sensitivity multiplier. We don't have to change any of those other shenanigans in here. We're just going to go ahead and dial this back. This is by default a 1.0, as you guys can be able to see. I recommend dialing it back to like a 0.9, 0.8.
Whoa, I missed something.
We're just going to go ahead and dial this back. This is by default a 1.0, as you guys can be able to see. So right down, now let's move over here into the
sensitivity multiplier
as well. So first thing we're going to do is we're going to hit that show more on your sensitivity multiplier. So Right down here, the only thing you have to change is your ADS sensitivity multiplier. We don't have to change any of this other shenanigans in here. We're just going to go ahead and dial this back. This is by default a 1.0, as you guys can be able to see. I recommend dialing it back to like a 0.9, 0.8. I have it at a 0.75. I played it like even sometimes it was like a 0.7 or a 0.65 or something like that. I played at something that was a little bit more egregiously low. But at least for Black Ops 7, I just felt like it was a little bit better, right? Because when you're on one, you can slow down and, in advanced settings, we'll get in here real quick, but I just want to say target aim assist, ADS aim assist, this is like pretty basic stuff. Keep that on. Absolutely do not turn this off ever. That makes no sense. Controlling advanced settings, we'll get in here real quick, but I just want to say target aim assist, ADS aim assist, this is like pretty basic stuff. Keep that on. Absolutely do not turn this off ever. That makes no sense. Controllers have aim assist for a reason. So ADS advanced settings. This is a very small menu, but it is also a super crucial one to understand. So your ADS sensitivity transition timing, this is going to be on instant. You don't want this to be on gradual or after zoom, just because like you want to be able to go from like running and moving around to as soon as you click your ADS button to be able to ADS and get your straight up like your sensitivity that you have for ADSing. You don't want it to like ramp up or something like that. It doesn't really help you, especially like not after zoom. That is ridiculous. That means you're going to be looking around at your horizontal vertical stick sensitivity until after you're already zoomed, which is not good. And same with the gradual. I don't believe in ramping it up. I'd rather just as soon as I click it or to instantly switch over. It makes things more dynamic. I still believe dynamic, even being on instant. This is just, of course, going to be on assist, your aim response curve type. This can be on dynamic. I still believe dynamic, even from like Black Ops 6 over to Black Ops 7, is going to be the best. So I'd recommend for you guys to stay on dynamic or standard.
Probably going to make shit
Here
of the
is a
game.
little bit something where people like to experiment around with it. I think it's not as good as dynamic or standard for the mass majority of people out there. I think either of these will feel stickier for everybody else. So dynamic is preference. Standard, if you're on it, you're not really at a disadvantage. But I will say most people out there will feel like they're at a disadvantage. They switch over to linear after they've been used to dynamic or standard. Now we're going to go back in here. As of course, we have that show more button. Your aim response curve slope scale, this is going to be at a 1.0. Keep in mind, if you were to actually dial this back and move it, basically that like nice reverse S curve you have being on the dynamic aim assist, you basically start flattening that S. So that almost makes you go to a little bit better price with extra salt and effect, which is obviously what we're trying to stay away from. So you just want to leave that at the 1.0. Don't do that. If you guys want to have custom sensitivity for zoom, you can definitely do that. I personally have not done any of that stuff. Maybe I might if I start sniping and stuff like that, but overall, I'd leave everything at just the base off. I don't need to adjust my, I want to have that on. Sprint assist delay, keep that on the tactical sprint assist base off. I don't need to adjust my custom sense for zoom. Now over in here to the movement tab, you can see we're going to be on sprint assist. It's going to be on tactical sprint assist. It's not just going to be on or off. It's going to be on tactical sprint assist. That's your automatic tac sprint. You definitely want to have that on. Sprint assist delay, keep that on 0. And of course, we can keep this for both of these things on for sideways and backwards. It just makes sense to be able to have that. No real reason for you to ever turn that off. It's like you might as well get that sprint assist, sideways and backwards. Like it just helps you be a little bit more fluid around the map. Speaking of things that are probably not going to make you fluid, though, probably having that mantle assist. You could maybe have it on low mantle assist, but even then, it sometimes still kind of gets you. When you like mantle over random objects, like it's not that.
Oh yeah, friend. My doctor also said, yeah, we usually tell people with POTS to increase their salt too.
Of course.
So. Seems like I'd be increasing salt a lot. Oh, now you only have one viewer.
Not great.
Yeah, I know. She's streaming herself.
My back paddle does it for me anyways. Maybe if you don't have a stuff control, you take your thumb off of any of the sticks, hit a button, throw on like low mantle assist or even on, but overall, say just to kind of leave it off. Crouch assist, you can leave that off. Corner slice, some people think this is going to ruin your game versus not ruin your game. It truthfully does not do really anything negative. It actually sometimes can be a little bit cheesy when you're able to, peek around a corner and not fully expose yourself. So that's a little bit nice. Can help you a little bit on that cheese side of things. So I'd say it's actually a pretty cool feature. I recommend it. Wall jump assist, honestly, there really isn't any wall jumping in base Warzone, so unless you're playing like an LTM or something.
Okay, I got it.
You want to play Fortnite again tonight?
I'm gonna be playing Warzone with my friend in a minute.
You can, I guess, turn it on if you want to, but in base Warzone, there's not really any of that, so that doesn't really matter. Slide/dive behavior, this is going to be on hybrid. If you guys don't want to play on hybrid, I'd say to be on tap the slide, that way you can still do your slide camp quicker, so off or partial or on. Sense, you just want to be on one of those two, and then you'll be perfectly okay. Your automatic airborne mantle, this can be off or partial or on. It just kind of depends on what you want to like do with it. I'm just going to keep it off just because I want to have that full control over mantling something. If I do or do not want to do that, your sprint restore, definitely want to keep that on. Slide maintain sprint, you definitely want to keep that on. And all the rest of the stuff down here, this is going to be pretty simple stuff. But let's get into here to the movement advanced settings real quick, so that way you guys can see some of this. Basically, this is all pretty simple stuff. I mean, nothing you really have to change in here. Just kind of follow my settings. A lot of these are default, to be honest. Now for our final tab, we're to be in the combat tab. So what I want for you guys to do is just kind of, course, copy down what I'm showing you. What I recommend is just to go...
Hold on toggle, ADS down bottom, ADS melee, hold melee, prioritize finishing move, apply all, one by one,